Hello and welcome to today's Leadership Satsang. I'm your leadership coach, Yukti Kapoor Mehendiratta. How many of you know that today is World Photography Day? Yeah, there is something called as a World Photography Day as well. And I can't take the credit of knowing this all this while. I discovered it on my planner at the start of this month. And that's the best part about having a planner. It highlights days which are like unconventional yet very, very interesting, like the one we have today, World Photography Day. Now, I'm not going to get into photography because that's not my zone. But as I look at this space, I see how leadership is related to it. You see, one basic rule in photography is the fact that your lens cannot cover everything. It only covers what you focus on. And leadership is the same. Wherever you put your attention, that part of your business, that part of your portfolio grows. Now, the question is, how aware are you of where your attention goes? And that's where I want to bring your attention to in today's satsang session. Before we go deeper into that, and before I share with you three important aspects of being more attentive to what matters, let's bring our attention to this moment and be here in the present completely. And we do that by chanting Om 5 times together. I know you know it, but I'm still going to remind you of certain basic rules of this chant. Please make sure that you're seated somewhere comfortably. Your spine is straight, your shoulders are relaxed. Your feet are firmly placed on the ground. Don't put any pressure there. Let it just sit on the ground so you create that connection. If you're wearing shoes and you can let them go, it'll be great so that you have a direct connection with Mother Earth. If you can sit down on the floor, even better. So let's prepare ourselves. You can put your glasses aside if you want. Take a nice deep breath in and breathe out. You can keep chin mudra if you want, which is your thumb and index finger touching each other, and place your hands looking upward, palms facing upward on your knees or on your thighs if you're sitting on a chair. Take a nice deep breath in again and out. Just for a moment, let's just forget about everything and everyone. Let's forget about all the dramas and all the proving, all the hurt and all the noise. And bring your attention to the silence that resides within you. The silence of your core, your heart. See if you can bring your attention to the rhythm of your heart. And bring a gentle smile on your face if you can feel it, if you can hear it. That's the only reality. That sound, that rhythm. So when you don't know what to do and everything goes topsy-turvy in life, just come back to your heart. Come back to this rhythm. And know that you know what needs to be done. You know it. Let's take a nice deep breath in and breathe out. We start chanting together. We chant Om, breaking it into 3 syllables, O, Ma, and you will chant it as you exhale. Give a little break in between. Allow yourself to feel the vibrations of the chant before you pick the next chant. Don't complete it as a round of 5 chants quickly. Let's just be with it. When you are chanting, you create the vibrations. And when you bring in that silence between the 2 chants is when you can feel these vibrations. Let's get ready. Take a nice deep breath in. Let's start.
Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Your fingers, bring your palms together. Rub them till you feel some warmth between your hands. Gently place them on your eyes, in your face, your ears, your neck, and your entire body. And slowly come back. Come back to me. Come back to this satsang session. Come back to this moment. And as you do, tell me, where are you joining me from today? Which part of the world are you in right now? So give me 100%, telling me that you're here 100%. 100% from Bangalore, 100% from Jharkhand, 100% from Kolkata. Which part of the world are you in? Let me know in the chat, please. And I would love to welcome you to this very, very important discussion on how to bring in that attention, that focus, and why is it important? Why is it important to bring it in? So for a moment, if I were to invite you to just pick any object from your surrounding right now, wherever you are, just identify one, zero down on one object, and using your hands, make a frame. Can you make a frame like how they show in movies? You know, you look at an object, you're just making a frame. And as you frame that object, zoom into that object, just zoom into that object. And as you zoom in, you will realize that the more you zoom in, the faster all other distractions will fall away. They just go away. They are just not in the frame anymore. And even if they are, they look blurred to you. Why? Because your attention is on that one object. Isn't it? Did you experience that? Give me I did in the comments if you did. If you did this with me, if you realized what focus is, what you just did is focus. Focusing on that object and zooming into that object with complete focus, with complete attention. When it is as simple as that, why are we not able to do it? Well, if I tell you what we lose by not doing it, maybe it will serve as a motivation for you to bring that focus in. Because you know what? I have a feeling that I don't need to teach you how to focus. You know it. What we probably need to remind ourselves of is the benefit of being that focused, the benefit of knowing where our attention is going. So the first reason why you must know where your attention is going is the fact that wherever your attention goes is where your energy goes, right? Is where the energy flows. Where attention goes, energy flows. What are you giving attention to? So interestingly, I don't know how many of you are aware, but at Amazon, Jeff would very often place an empty chair in the meetings, right? And so there'll be this empty chair as a part of the circle with all the management executives around it. And everyone's looking at that empty chair where they assume a customer to be seated. So they're
imagining a customer seated on that empty chair. And all the attention is on that chair to serve that customer. So it's a reminder for everybody else to keep that one objective in mind. Right? There is no theater happening here. There's no role play that he's moderating. He's just creating a visual of the bigger picture, the customer. What does the customer need? Now, as the discussion evolves, the moment it starts going on a tangent, it's easy for people to bring themselves back to the point by just looking at that empty chair, saying, okay, hang on. What we're saying is not directly related to adding value or experience to the customer. So let's bring our attention back to what matters. And what matters is, what can we do to create a better experience for that empty chair, the customer? And that is one very powerful way for you to keep your objective, your goal in front of you, so that your focus is never away from what truly matters. When he did that is when they started getting in all the results. The data science behind the recommendations we get on Amazon comes from one such discussion with an empty chair in the room, right? The flawless process that they have from the cart to the delivery, all of that is a function of discussions around the empty chair. So take this empty chair back with you in your mind and see who sits on that chair for you. What is that one thing that you need to focus on? And make that thing or person seated on that chair so that you never lose focus. So as I share this with you, who do you see or what do you see on that chair? Give it to me in the comments, please. What is it that you see sitting on that chair? Because that's where your attention will be. And where attention goes, energy flows. So where are you flowing your energy in? Energy, which is limited in its availability to us. So with that limited energy, what are you constructing today? What are you creating today? Where is your focus? Where is your attention? Give it to me in the comments, please. Who is sitting on that empty chair for you? Or what is sitting on that empty chair for you? In fact, I would like to share a very powerful exercise if you want to take it back with you. It's called as attention audit. Now, in attention audit, I would like you to answer 3 questions right away. Can you create 3 columns on your notebook? I'm sure you're sitting with a notebook. You're all lifelong learners. You've been here as a part of the Satsang sessions for all these 125 plus episodes. So I don't have to tell you that in a learning environment, you're a student because you are. And if you are one, you're sitting with a notebook. In that notebook, create 3 columns. Right? Column 1, I want you to answer this question. What gets my daily attention? What gets my daily attention? Is it meetings? Is it gossip? Is it emails? What is it that gets my daily attention? Answer that question for you, please, for yourself. The second column is, what deserves more attention? That's the second question I've written for you. What deserves more attention? What is it that deserves more attention from you? Maybe conscious learning, maybe reviews, which you are not doing properly with your team, and that deserves more attention. What is it that you think deserves more attention from you? And the third is, what is getting attention but doesn't create value? What is getting your attention but does not create value? What are those tasks that you're doing? What is it that you're busy with, which is not giving you any value? Because you know that being busy is not the same as being productive. We've talked about it so many times. We want to be more productive. For that, we have to be less busy. So where are you busy? What are you busy with? Take a moment and answer these 3 questions. What gets my daily attention? What deserves more attention? And what is getting attention but doesn't create value? Once you have an answer to these 3, give me done in the comments, please. And if you're comfortable sharing your response, I'd love that, because it'll serve as a very good example for others to think and get their answers to the questions. Right, so I'm going to give you a moment to do that. Just give me done in the comments once you're done. And then there is one more step to be done after what you're doing right now to complete this exercise, the attention audit. Done? All right. So if this is done, I would like you to circle any one thing. And of course, maybe you've written only one right now, but after the session, sit with this paper and add as many things as possible under all three columns. And then identify one thing in column B where you want your attention to go. What deserves more attention from you? That column. So identify one thing from there and commit to spend 15 minutes more. Or if you're not spending time at all on it, then at least 15 minutes every day for the next 1 week. That's it. Let's take one baby step. And just 15 minutes more, or 15 minutes if you're not spending time at all on this, and commit to give 15 minutes of more attention to this task every single day for the next 1 week till we meet for our next satsang session. Let us see what it does for you. Let us see what happens when your attention goes to things that truly matter to you. How that grows your energy. As the energy flows into it, it also grows your energy further when it is driven in the right manner, in the right direction. Powerful? Give me powerful in the comments if you think this is powerful. Attention audit is very, very powerful. It's a very important audit. Like have we done audit on our books? We run audit on our investments. We've got to run our own energy audit. At the retreat in July, I think it was the last retreat with my ULM participants, the spiritual leaders who go through a self-discovery journey of 1 year. We have 2 retreats every year, July and December. In July, we spent a lot of time creating our own energy audit framework. And I can't tell you what sharing people had from that learning. How important it is to run that audit for yourself. You've got to know where you're investing your energy. Or is it just getting spent in like multiple random directions? And then we expect results. Where will that come from if we have no grip on where our energy is going? Right? So you've got to do your energy audit. You've got to do your attention audit. Make sense? Give me MS in the chat if that makes sense, please. And then I want to share 2 more very, very important points, which is a great reminder for leaders to know how to get better results if we understand how to pay more attention. So the second lesson that I want to bring to your attention is the fact that when we see something through a lens, we can call that lens as our perspective, isn't it? So I have my perspective, you can have yours. So my perspective is the lens through which I see the world, is the lens through which I see a problem, is a lens through which I see people. But perspective is not a soft skill. It is a system setting. It needs to be created, coded, programmed, thought through. And when that happens, this perspective can completely change your story or organization's story. If the perspective is aligned to what it should be focused on. Let me give you a case study, a real life example. You know, one of the leaders I have a lot of respect for is Alan Mulally, the one who changed the entire story of Ford. And I have mentioned him quite often in a lot of my satsang sessions because there is just so much to learn from how he made failures acceptable, how he made red safe. You know, at the bank, when I was serving the banks, we used to have this rag sheet, R-A-G, rag, red, amber, green. So all our trackers used to have a rag status. Red is things which have not moved as planned. Amber is where you're making some progress, but you're still not home. And green is where you can pat your back because you're doing well. It's a success story. Now, when we were invited to come into these meetings, share our rag status, we would find some of the other excuse to ditch that meeting if red was part of the tracker. If it was all green, we would look forward to that meeting. If it was mostly green, we would still kind of prepare ourselves with some element of fear. If it's not so green, you know what? We know that's not going to be a good meeting. And it wasn't. It was something that was driven by experience, not imagination. And that's what happened. So what happens when you start pulling up people for the red is injecting them with fear of failure. You're already dealing with it. I'm dealing with it. We're all dealing with it. And then when we see consequences right in front of us, that fear just exaggerates in our mind. It becomes larger than life. And so we're not ready to accept failures. And then what happens? We cover our mistakes till it's too late to fix them. So when Alan joined Ford, Ford was not in a good position. Like, the company was not going through the best of its times. And so as a CEO, he brought in all the important internal stakeholders, and he had a meeting, and he asked for status and all of that. And to his surprise, when people were sharing the update, they all wanted to look good in his eyes. So they were all coming with a lot of green on their sheet. Until one day, this one gentleman walked in with a lot of red. And Alan took that moment to congratulate that person for that level of honesty in and trust in the system and trust in him as a leader, considering it to be a safe space for him to confess to the red. You know what I'm saying? Confess to the fact that, you know what? I'm not on track. There are things which are off track. There are mistakes that we are making, and we don't know how to fix them. Only when you start talking about these mistakes can they be fixed. So why was the company going south is because people were not willing to come up with the mistakes, with the failures. They were spending all their energy covering it till it could not be covered anymore. And it would just blow the whole company apart. And it did almost, till Alan took over. And under his leadership, people started feeling safe with the color red. Red was celebrated as much as green was encouraged. Green got a pat on the back, and so did red. Not to encourage complacency, saying, "Arey bhai, bahut badhiya, if you're not doing anything right, and if you're on track, please come, we'll celebrate you." That's not the intent at all. The intent is to say, thank you for bringing out the fact that things are not okay. Now let's discuss how we can fix them. Do you need any support? By when do you think this can be done? And I'll tell you something. Even if you get a safe environment to confess your red, you're not going to feel good about it. You will not be happy about going to that meeting with a red color sheet again and again, week after week after week. No. When you're not pulled up is when you start feeling even more responsible. Do you agree? Give me agree in the chat. When you not scolded for your mistakes is when you internalize that even better. And you say, hey, you know what? This person could have cut me into pieces, but he didn't or she didn't. And I know that it's all me. I need to fix this. I want to go next week with a green. I want to do that. And if I can't, I'm going to put my hand up and say, this is the support I need so that I get to green. And I will, and you will. And that is the importance of bringing in the right perspective. What is the perspective you're driving in your company? What is the perspective you are encouraging in your company? Can you move from fear to ownership? Can you move from excuses to experiments? Can you bring in that shift in perspective? Because if you can, then you will be able to change the story of your organization, of your team, of your own career. Are you willing to do that? Give me willing in the chat. Are you understanding the power of what I'm sharing with you over here? That this is a complete shift in the game. It's a game changer if you understand the power of focusing on attention. Focusing on attention, right? Focusing on where your attention is going. So what's the first thing we discussed here? That where attention goes, energy flows. What's the second thing we're saying? Perspective can change the story. So change your perspective, and that changes your story. The third important thing, and the last one for today's session, is for you to remember that you must bring your attention to things that matter and not to things that don't matter. Focus on what you want and not what you don't want. So if you have acquainted yourself with any level of philosophy or spirituality, you would have heard of law of attraction. And law of attraction says what? That the universe doesn't hear the word don't or no. It just picks up every other word, which means if I say, I don't want to fall, the chances are you will. I don't want to miss the deadline, you might. So instead, you change the language. You say, I want to complete this task within timelines. I want to speed up my delivery to give better quality instead of saying, I don't want to give bad quality output. I want to give good quality output by focusing on it and speeding up the whole process. So I have that extra time to revise, to go through it, to do a rain check before I put it out to the customer or to my internal stakeholders. Are you getting what I'm saying? This shift from a don't statement to a do statement. So what are some of your goals which are don't goals? Take a moment to think about it. I don't want to look bad, or I don't want to be the last one to get promoted, or I don't want to be at a stage where I need to ask for money, or I don't want to be in a small house even after my children grow. What is your don't statement that drives you or somewhere you feel it does? In fact, it saps you. It creates more fear in your system. And the moment you change that to do, I do want this. What is it that you want? I want a bigger house before my children are old enough. Right? I want to get to the next level of this corporate ladder before an average person in this team can, or before anyone in this team can. Have bold, unapologetic goals for yourself. There's absolutely no problem in saying that. Say it out loud in your head if you need to, multiple times if you have to, but make sure that the language is right. Why? Because that's where your attention is going to go. What you don't want is what's going to pull all your attention instead of what you do want. One case study that often comes out in the space of leadership, no matter what aspect of leadership you're going through, is Southwest Airlines. Right? Their leadership is a testimony of what learning leadership can do, what hiring the right people can do for an organization. So they could have had a goal like, we don't want to lose money. And instead they chose to have a goal that said, low cost airline, friendly staff, great customer experience. That's what we want. Instead of focusing on what we don't want to lose money. That's not even a goal. What I do want, and I bring that out in every discussion, every meeting, every initiative, every step that I take towards my growth is led with a do goal. So what is that don't statement in your mind that you often bring out, whether it's your personal space or your professional space, and how can you replace it with a do statement? Take a moment and do it right away if you can. I'm going to hold this space for you for maybe a few seconds, right? So sit back and think, what's that one don't goal that you want to rewrite? Rewrite to a compelling do outcome. And if you can, please put it in the comments. I would love to see what are these goals you're rewriting, because language is very important. Words are very powerful. Words will define where you're taking your attention. I don't want to look the way I look. I do want to look better than I do. I do want to look much better. I do want to lose weight. Right? I do want to learn. I do want to stay ahead. I do want to grow exponentially. That's what I want to do. And so my goals are always about what I want to do and not what I don't want to do. Because that is where my attention will go. So if you look at a camera next time, and you will, because we all have one in our phones today, right? Every single time you take a selfie or take a picture with people, you're looking through the lens of the camera. Remind yourself of where your attention is going. Where are you focusing? What are you focusing on? Because wherever your attention goes is where your energy flows, is where you start getting the results that you want or don't want. Depends on what you're focusing on, is where your perspectives are questioned. Because when you bring that shift into your perspective is when you can rewrite your own story. With that, I conclude today's session. Please do let me know if you found this to be useful, if there is anything opening up for you, any aha moment, light bulb moment, mind-blowing moment. These are some of the words I really love because they confirm to me that I'm able to reach out to you, that I'm adding my 2 cents to your already beautiful lit up life and helping you to shine even more. right? Because when you do, you create a ripple effect. One person becoming better than who they are creates a much better world around them, isn't it? And all you lifelong learners there, the followers of Leadership Satsang, are the ones who are the torch bearers of this message, of the fact that when I work on myself, I create a better world around me. That's who you are, and that's what connects you with me. Thank you so much for being a part of this initiative I took some time back, and I intend to continue with for as long as I can. And every single time you show up for it, it confirms to me that all this makes sense. All of this is adding value. All this effort somewhere is adding up to helping you become a better leader. That's all for today. I will see you next week with another important insight in the space of leadership and spirituality. Till then, please take very good care of yourself. God bless you.